Alright, it is a Friday, 9:03 a.m., August the 27th, and the main watch list has not changed. NSAV, it's just going to be a watch. It could be a morning panic bounce play. It did do one yesterday. It would have worked very nicely with the 3-ticker rule that I was experimenting with. That would have really helped out then and there, but that's totally fine. I learned a great lesson with that one. PBYA, yeah, it could be a morning panic bounce play, maybe. I'll try not to miss it this time. RGBP could be one as well. OZSC, I'd like to see it uptrend more. If that's all I can do, I'll eventually remove this from the watch list. TPTW is just going to be a watch to see what this one can do. LCLP had a nice day yesterday. Let's see if today can continue. I'm not going to be really interested in this one for a morning panic bounce play, but this is the kind of stock, one of the few stocks that can do a nice one, even if it was only up one day. That's what I have in mind. I am trying this stocks to trade breaking news thing just to see what's it like. I want to know if I can find a way to filter it so it only tells me stuff about OTCs or stocks that I'm really interested in, but I'm going to be looking at that chat and just see how a lot of its news react to certain stocks, to see if just to learn how, the cause and effect of it. And yeah, that's a new thing. I'll be trying that. I'll just be watching it really just to see again how it affects certain stocks. I'd rather it only show me OTC stocks, not listed stocks, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Okay, it is 9:41 a.m. I got humiliated by TPTW. I mean, look, one thing I wasn't, this thing was only up one nice green day. The second day was sketchy, and then today's the third day, right? So it wasn't like a clean OTC that has just 3 green straight days in a row, kind of like, I guess NSAV a while back, right? Something that, at least in theory, gives it a high chance that the thing can be profitable more often than not. Anyway, I took a really good buy. I'm always good at my buys. If I don't miss it, I get a really good entry. I was in at basically the bottom, 402. That's when it looked like the level 2 was reversing. So that's when I got in. That was a killer entry, and then I sold at 417, which was right here. Right when I sold, it looked like it was starting to finish strong and uptrend. Had I have gone for VWAP, that would have been almost 10%. I didn't trade a large position. I traded maybe, what was it, like a $400 position. That's what I traded because, again, it wasn't something that had like 3 green straight days in a row, but at least I traded it, right? At least I didn't miss it. So, again, that was a killer entry, 934, right there at 402. Yeah, right there, 402. Sold at 417. The thing is now green on the day. It went up to 51. It went up, 11 pennies. I mean, that's I don't know. That's like a 25% move. Had I have top ticked it, instead I just got like a tiny 3% move, and that's alright. I think maybe something that could help me hold these things better is just do not sell until, it gets to VWAP, right? If it gets to VWAP and I sell, they're fine. But maybe to help me hold on to these trades longer, this is a brand new thought. It might not work. It might have only worked with this, but maybe I should just wait for the first red candle to form. Maybe when it shows this first red candle, that's when I can consider selling, even if it's going to be under VWAP. That would have helped me here. I would have been able to sell maybe in this 505 level. NSAV is down, but it was a gap down. It's trading all ugly. OZSC, nothing. PBYA, nothing. TPTW, that was a trade here. RGBP, I was looking at this for a dip towards VWAP. It just broke under it, so I'm not messing with it. If it has like a morning panic, that might be nice. RGBP, that was it. This is LCLP, nothing here. I'll be looking at RGBP since it's down. Maybe it can do like a morning panic. That would be impressive. Other than that, yeah, that's all I got. I got destroyed with TPTW. I guess in theory I should be looking at this for a higher low, lower low, double bottom, maybe a higher low at VWAP. I could consider something like that, but that's where I'm at right now. I'll just keep looking for more setups. Alright, it is 9:56. I just want to make an update and I guess go over everything. I added a new note here. Morning panic, wait for first red candle if working. So TPTW, you know, it was working. I was in at 402 and you know, I sold right here pathetically. Hopefully I can learn from this. Again, it wasn't an exact science because this thing wasn't up three green days in a row, and then the day after that it has a morning panic, and these weren't really necessarily clean up trending candles, they were more like consolidation candles. But it looks like it did put up the higher low here. I was watching it closely in this range at this 44 level. It broke under it. I guess it wanted to play under 43. That's totally fine. You know, I'm not trying to be like, is this the bottom? Boom, I get a paper cut. Is this the bottom? And then this one works, okay, great, but then sometimes it just keeps downtrending, or it just starts trading all weird and ugly looking, so then it's just a waste. So that's a nice move here regardless. It was a higher low. I guess if they're really strong, it's going to be a higher low, not a lower low, who knows. But NSAV is looking like nothing, but I do have it here still on the watch list because in theory this thing could break out of this range, and then that could make a nice move. I need to also consider the market cap. It's, you know, OTCs, to understand how many shares are outstanding there are, it's kind of easier to do that compared to finding the flow of these OTCs, which I can't really do with E-Trade Pro anyway, like have the float displayed. I used to a long time ago. You put the float here when I would still, you know, look at listed stocks more than OTC stocks, but I need to consider the market cap because in theory that tells you, give or take, how much of a float there is, how well it could spike and trade. Something like that maybe could give me more conviction to trade something, you know, more more reasons to consider something like this TPTW, the way it trades with so much range. So I should consider that. This is technically, I don't know what the float is, but it's technically a low flow OTC because of the market cap. It's so small. With all of this price action, it's such a small market cap. And another one, PBYA, this one has a low market cap too. This one trades not as much range as TPTW, but I think it's a good guideline. Of course, it's not an exact science. There's a dilution or, you know, whatever. They have ATMs, stuff like that, but that could help me as well. So yeah, I'll be watching NSAV if it does some kind of breakout over this range. OZSC is falling hard. I'll consider it. Maybe if it looks clean, I might consider the 3-ticker rule with something like this. It was only up one day, so I need to take that into consideration. PBYA, maybe if it breaks. No, I kind of already broke out on the range here, so maybe nothing here. RGBP, nothing here either. It did turn around with a big volume candle move here. That wouldn't have been too bad, but I don't mind missing this one because this was a bit of a delayed morning panic bounce play. LCOP, you see this one broke out of its range, did it like a confirmed breakout. I want to see if maybe something like that could happen with NSAV. It probably won't because it does have a higher market cap, and you know, it is more of a, you know, it's not much of a low float stock compared to LCOP, but that's what I have in mind right now. Alright, it is 10:50 a.m. and I started to work on other things, and then I came back and I just took a little look at the stocks, and I saw this thing right here, which could have been an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder head shoulder, right? So I wasn't really, in theory I should have been in at this 605 level, risking 6. That would have been ideal, but what I did instead was that, because I saw it later, I was in at 1041 at 609, and I was risking 605 because to me, if it were to have broken 605, I feel like that would have maybe have been something really bad. So, you know, I'm in the trade, and there was another one that was doing it, I think, in inverse head and shoulders, this one, RGBP, but I chose OZSC because I feel like it trades better. It just trades better, if you ask me, compared to RGBP. You know, maybe not because it does have more volume with RGBP, but I just felt better trading OZSC. This one did kind of work. It went from 696 to 71. That's the most it did, but I think that was more range than here with OZSC. But I don't know. I just liked this one more. Maybe because it's no, they're both under VWAP. I'm trying to think of the ones from yesterday, and you know, this one is right under it. Maybe this one was better in theory. Yeah, it does show that it seems to trade more. Yeah, the price is about the same, but this one trades a lot more volume, RGBP, but I don't know, this one is a bit choppy. It is right at its very highs. OZSC could in theory try to turn around. So, you know, just analysis. So again, I was in at 1041, 609, and then I just didn't like it. It wasn't really trading that nicely. I wanted it to really work then and there, but then I realized this stock isn't really the kind that will do something like that. I thought, what would be the ideal level? The ideal level would be like 62, so I'm in at 609, and it just took a while. It was just messing around. It wasn't really moving, and you know, I put a sell for 6-1 at 1043, which was right about here, thinking, okay, maybe this thing isn't working that nicely. And then I put in, I canceled it. I put it again at 44, 1044, another order at the same price. And then I thought, you know, it likes to trade the 611 price. Let me put one for that, right? And then I do that, and then it gets executed at 45. Somebody was buying some shares. I guess this thing really is kind of illiquid compared to the other ones, but we always had support at 608. That was always on the bid. And then when I sold, right, the bid moved up to 61. It seems like it broke it immediately, and now it's trading all weird with a spread, so that is never really that nice to try to sell at the ask, especially when I'm putting in an order to sell at 611 and the ask is 614 and then the bid is 608. So you know, there is some kind of difficulty getting in and out of this one in particular, but this one could work out. I mean, hey, it just broke the 615 level. Now what we need is somebody to show up on the bid and, you know, try to reclaim some ground to see if that can help push it up. You know, if it wasn't 6.2, it would be 627, which is VWAP, and then to see if it will break past it. It's not a morning panic bounce play, but we did have a red candle, so that was more motivation for me to get out, because maybe it's just going to consolidate. Let's see how this one's doing. 624 is at the ask, and we do have somebody that stepped up at the bid. Now the bid is 614. How big is it? I don't know. Now we have one at 615. That's nice. It's doing it. It just took a long time. I don't regret it because, you know, at some point the bid dropped off, and that would have been kind of bad. I don't know if I would have cut losses right here when it did get below 605. I don't know if it was quickly or if it was a gradual downtrend to that level. It was a wick, so maybe it wasn't, but that is nice. That's cool. And a curiosity, what was it, 5,000 shares, and I was in at 609. Whoops, 6. Alright, so that would be 304. I mean, best case scenario, if we were to get executed at the ask, yeah, that would be a tiny profit, because I am trading a small size, just being speculative, not trying to wipe out my gains that in theory should have been a lot better. That was on my end. I did make a tiny $1.75 trading this setup, but at least it did work. It just took longer, a bit sketchy because it did, you know, kind of have low volume. I guess it was worse than RGBP, but at least it got to VWAP, right? RGBP never did. You know, OZSC touched VWAP, and that's a pretty nice goal. Let's look at the other ones. This one did eventually break out. The thing I was watching it for, I just wasn't there when it did it. It broke this 40 level. It got as high as what? 43.4, so just under 10%. Without any red candles until you know, we got to here. Although I don't know if this was real or not. I did have it might have been real, because look at the volume. Sketchy freaking wick. I don't know, maybe I would have sold into that wick. That would have stunk, but it did break out of that range. 624. There's a big seller now, but you know, the move is there. I want to try to sell past VWAP, unless there was just 0 red candles and then it's still going through VWAP. That's not the case here. I'll apply that in the next morning panic bounce setup, God willing, if I can trade it, and there is one. I will try, you know, if it looks like the way it is. Even if I guess that's a new rule maybe. If I'm going to sell under VWAP, it has to be 2 reasons. One, it's trading a range under VWAP, so maybe it won't get to VWAP if it's trading back and forth. So it could fail then and there and break the low of that range. Or number 2, if it has a red candle, like maybe that means that's all, you know, it's going to do. It might make that range I'm talking about, or it might downtrend and then get back to my entry level. That might help me a lot. We'll see. It's right back at the level. PBYA, this one broke out too. This was later. This would have been kind of hard because, you know, are you trying to base it off the wick? In this case, yes, it did trade off of the wick. That would have been hard to trade because it's like up a lot, pretty far from VWAP. So that would have been, again, that would have been hard. LCLP maybe inverse head and shoulders here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. If it gets to VWAP, risk would be VWAP, but something like this might be running out of steam and turn around. It's not really known to really run for that many days, so that might just be something running out of steam and it's going to fade the rest of the day. So that's where I'm at, just a tiny trade there. I'll make an update later. I probably won't trade anything else unless there's something nice, just really nice, or perhaps later in the afternoon, but that's what I have for right now. Alright, it is 6:54 and I'm here to call it off. I finished, I think, just under $17. I had 2 trades, TPTW, OZSC. I haven't really looked at the charts that much. I'm going to go over it right now, and let's just start with TPTW. My gosh, this was a morning panic bounce play. I'm going to give myself just a little bit of slack. 2 reasons. One, I am now considering the market cap a lot more. You know, it's a very lazy way of guessing what the floats is, give or take. You know, if it's really high up in the chart like this one kind of is, right, something that used to be very close to a sub penny, and it still has a market cap this small, it's probably going to have a very low flow. It's not, you know, an exact science, but that can help me just maybe take into consideration how crazy some of these morning panic bounce plays can be on stocks like that. It's no wonder that PBYA has also offered some very nice morning panic bounce plays. Some I did trade horribly, some I think at least 2 of them I missed this week. That's something I can apply. And then the second thing, this thing wasn't really up. Again, I've said there's 3 nice green days in a row, so I'll take that into consideration. But yeah, nailed the entry 402. Shitty sell, just a bad sell. But you know, I don't feel as bad as that other one where I sold too early. This one feels better, okay, just a little better. And you know, I keep putting these rules into place, so hopefully I can keep, you know, being more profitable, that I can make more money and be a better trader, and then, you know, maybe start to scale up even more. I did trade a rather small position in theory, again, because, you know, it wasn't a perfect morning panic bounce play looking at the backgrounds, but you know, the price action today was very nice. That was very perfect. So ideally, if I can try to wait, you know, for if it either makes a range under VWAP and it makes a red candle, all right, maybe that's all it's going to do. I'll take a sell. If it breaks past VWAP, you know, I can maybe consider selling some at VWAP, so that if it gets back under and then it fails, it's not the end of the world, okay? Or maybe it will just get back under VWAP and then it'll come back later. That'll be nice. But you know, at least I had some sold there, so then, you know, it just helped me hold on to the trade better while it was doing that. I'll consider it. Now I know this thing's right at the very top, but in theory, you know, if it gets past VWAP and we have a red candle form or some kind of a top potentially formed, I'll try selling into that. If I don't get the very top, that's fine, but I can at least go for VWAP. You know, I did not have a single red candle there. Maybe that setup will help me be, not setup, but that new idea can help me be super profitable. almost a 4% gain, 15 bucks, and then the second one, OZSC. This one actually worked out, but you know, I wanted it to be a bit quicker. My entry was again 609, 1041, right about here, 1041, 609, and I ended up selling at 613, just slightly higher a little later in the day, 645, right? You know, it did make a higher low in theory here, shoulder, head, shoulder, higher low, you know, higher low. It did get to VWAP, which would have been the goal, and it actually got higher. It got as high as 65 past VWAP, so that was almost that was almost 10% for my entry, so that was cool. Very, you know, illiquids, you know, sketchy in that sense, but this one worked out, and I chose this one over RGBP because of the fact that, you know, it just had a nice green day, and then it had this day, and that was kind of red. Like maybe it's going to try to come back and reverse. It's not really far from the lows in that sense, and I just liked it, even though the volume here was clearly not good. RGBP in comparison, this was the other one. I didn't take it. This one didn't get to VWAP, and actually would have been a good short opportunity. I mean, it would have been a random short. Like, why are you just shorting? At least to me. Maybe if you draw like a trend line from this level, right, it's making lower highs, but that's a bit of a random pattern. I think I can draw a trend line like mentally, and I can see how when it broke past it, it did make this price action here. But, you know, it's kind of sketchy trading something like this that's up so many days. I'm thankful for the stock though, because this could be a nice, you know, morning panic bounce play stock in the future. I mean, it did have one here, but this was a morning spike. Not an exact science for me. PBYA could also be a morning panic bounce play at some point as well. I look forward to that. LCLP, it did do like this price action. I wasn't interested in it. I've seen cleaner ones than this, but yeah, and then this thing would have been, I might have considered it here at inverse head and shoulders, but I think of how sketchy the price action was right there, probably wouldn't have traded that. NSAV it is trying to uptrend. It did touch VWAP here. Not the best volume, so kind of sketchy. And yeah, that's really all I got. Hopefully these lessons that I've made, all of these mistakes that I've made this week, can help me be super profitable. I mean, I could have made a lot of money with TPTW with this morning panic bounce play. This could have been a $100 plus day. Same with the other day, I believe. The one with NSAV, and then those PBYA morning panic bounce plays that were super profitable. You know, I could really start, in theory, you know, I feel like I'm really close to breaking out. It might take longer than what I want, but I think I can be super profitable trading these, even with the size that I'm trading, 500 to like most $1,000 position, which I don't think I've done in a while. We'll see if I can do it. I'm just going to have to keep working on it, and that's all I got. I look forward to next week. I look forward to making the weekly recap and just to reanalyze all my trading this week. And I just have to keep getting better. Hopefully I can seriously start making some nice, you know, three-digit days. That'll be pretty cool. And I think I'm like getting really close to being able to do that. A lot of very close calls.